Good morning, everybody. So, welcome to the ethics batch. So, we'll try to become ethical. Okay. See, let us come straight to the point. Ethics is inevitable part of our life. Every moment, every step, we have ethics. There's a role of ethics. It influences us. We get influenced directly, indirectly. So, ethics, since it is a part of our life, ethics is so powerful that it makes or breaks. Just recall great civilization, culture, kingdom, leaders. Ethics made them, and ethics have broken them. On one hand, we have Gandhiji. Diametrically opposite to Gandhiji, we have Hitler. Ethics makes or breaks. Ethics is not just all about academic exercise. It's not just all about reading books and writing answers and discussing theories and approaches. Ethics is very much part of our life, and we will try to see today how exactly it influences our life. Even unknowingly, it is every moment, it is playing a significant role. We will also discuss that why ethics is necessary. We will understand that we cannot survive without ethics. We will see that from where ethics have originated. And we will see that what are those different approaches, theories, and what is their significance. And then we will see what exactly ethics is. What exactly ethics is, we will see then. Earlier, ethics was a part of personal character. It was cultivated by parents, by religion, by culture, by situations. And ethics came naturally to us without any specialized training, without any specialized study. It came naturally to us. However, in present time, or as we developed, as we had seen growth, development, progress, as world became more fragmented, more complex, we saw great level of technological development, urbanization, industrialization, globalization. These ethical issues, concerns, problems, dilemmas have increased phenomenally. And these ethical problems and dilemmas have become very complex. That's a part of game. पहले कोई था ही नहीं, पहले हम लोग प्रिमिटिव टाइम्स में रहते थे, ट्राइबल टाइम्स में रहते थे. World was not so complicated. But you compare this present age with the past, with the ancient or even medieval. So as we grow, as we develop, as our life and world and society and economy becomes more complex, these ethical issues accordingly will become very complex. And it has become so complex that they cannot be dealt just by individual. And hence here comes the role of institution, organization, enterprises, policymakers. And hence, in this space of development, ethics develops, grows, and as an independent discipline. Ethics develops as a separate department. Now we have dedicated scholars, ethicists. We have books, we have theories, we have approaches, because in order to deal that so complex ethical concerns and problems and dilemmas, because they are not just confined to me only. The whole world, the whole society is involved into that. Hence, ethics had emerged as a specialized science, as a separate discipline. And hence, ethics needs to be studied, taught, and contemplated. And perhaps it is because of this reason that ethics has been included in the professional schools. Ethics has become a part of curriculum in law schools. in engineering, in medical, we have corporate governance, we have business ethics, we have environmental ethics. So in different walks of life, we see that ethics has come and has been incorporated into that, and it has been included as a separate discipline. And hence, simultaneously, it is not only just included in the course curriculum, ethics has become a part of training for the civil servants, administrators, police personnel, army, sports, in whichever area you go, wherever if it is a professional area, then you find the role and importance of ethics. You can't ignore ethics. You can't bypass ethics. Ethics is the need of the hour. And we see the present time, then we see, world level, there has been great and, many complicated problems. Aspirations are very high. Fulfillment is less. So man is surrounded by inner conflicts. And we are trapped into this fast pace of development. Into this fast pace of development, ethics becomes more important as a part of my life and as a science and as a discipline. There we find the ethics. But at the same time, we also say that, look, ethics is not just a bundle of do's and don'ts. It's not all about do this, do not do that. It is a matter or is a discipline which requires a proper contemplation. It is just like, that we say don't do this, don't do that. And as a child, we do just opposite of that. जितने don'ts लगाओगे लोग बाग उतना ही उसका opposite करते हैं. It is just like one in a experiment. It is just like a situation. Parent says to child, don't throw food. He throws. Don't shout. He shouts. Don't break this. He breaks. Whatever you say, that child does just opposite to that. That's the basic nature of human. Don't do, don't do, don't do that, don't do. And every sentence, don't is there. It is just like that some guest comes and asks that child, hey, dear child, what's your name? And then child says, don't. Because that child have heard that word, don't, that he has understood. That don't is my name and rest of the thing I'm supposed to do. Isn't it? So the point is that ethics is not just all about bundle of do's and don'ts. It's a way of life. It has to be incorporated into our life. At the same time, we also say that we cannot survive without ethics. एक तरफ हमने कहा, we are trying to prove that ethics is an inevitable part of our life. And now we are saying that we cannot survive without ethics. And hence, here comes a segment that why ethics. हमें ethics की ज़रूरत ही क्यों है? Why we are supposed to study and why we need to incorporate ethics. It is just as that we say that without ethics, we cannot even survive. So for the very survival in this mundane world, in this empirical world, in the world in which we live, it's very essential for the very survival, because in the moral anarchy, we cannot even enjoy freedom, justice, and we cannot see our well-being without any absolute principles without any absolute principle or universal principles, or without the conception of what is good, अगर ये हमारे पास है ही नहीं, without that a absolute world of values, or without that set of principles, or without the conception of what is good or what is the ultimate aim of our life, we will get into a chaotic world. We will be in chaos. That society would be in anarchy. And anarchy here means disorderliness, lawlessness. Everybody is doing whatever they wish to do. And in that situation, our society will be conflict ridden. And in this chaotic society, we would be into Matasyanya. That is, bigger fish is eating up smaller fish, because this is a chaotic one. It is like the dominance of the strong, because there is not any absolute principles or like a universal set of principles. Or we can say, in the absence of ethics, there will be completely anarchy. And there will be complete chaos. In this scenario, even the fittest cannot survive. What Charles Darwin had said, theory of natural selection, theory of evolution, struggle for the existence and survival of the fittest. Ethicist, moralist claim that in the absence of ethics, even the fittest cannot survive. Because even fittest cannot survive when nobody else will survive. जब कोई survive ही नहीं करेगा तो fittest भी कैसे survive करेगा? It is that point we understand that we need to have ethics, because there will be question mark on the very survival of human as a species. It is not just academic exercise. It is a part of our life, and it is the very basis. It is the very basis of our development. It is the very basis of, in fact, our sustainable development. Sustainable development in all walks of life. You can say that ethics is the very basis of social development, social sustainable development, economic sustainable development, political sustainable development, environmental sustainable development, spiritual development, religious development, and personal development. That's where we say ethics makes or breaks, because it is on the basis of ethics only we evolve, we grow. Wherever we are right now, thanks to those leaders who have proved themselves as ethical leaders. And I tell you, though ethics is the most required and the most need of the hour, but bulk of the society, majority of the society is ethical and moral. It is because of that only we are able to sustain, and we are able to rise from lower to higher and to the highest level, thanks to those moral leaders and conscientious people. So that is the very basis of human development, economic development, social development, political development, environmental development, spiritual development, religious development, psychological development. Whatever we are discussing, we will understand each and every point as we proceed. इनका सबका काम आने वाला है, and we would be elaborating that. Once we say psychological development, ethics और psychological का क्या relation है, we will understand that. That's a very beautiful relation between psychology and ethics development, and hence We will be understanding psycho-philosophical doctrines, interplay of psychology and philosophy, and that makes ethics as a science. Each and everything we will understand, economic sustainable development. Without ethics, I mean, that would be impossible to cater justice, to deliver justice. We will understand that how it is like playing important role into religious development. Yes, ethics has been part of religion, and it is because of that only religion has survived till date. कभी तो जो डॉगमेटिक चीजें थी, फेनेटिकल चीजें थी, वॉयलेंट चीजें थी, सुपरस्टिशियस जो भी चीजें थी, एक एक करके दे हैव बीन रिमूव्ड. That's like evolution of religion. Why? Ethics has been there, directly or indirectly. Earlier we were not aware what exactly ethics is. In those times we worked, we acted from our conscience. But as we discussed, world has become so complex. सिर्फ कंसाइन से काम नहीं करेगा. We need to take into account various other factors. Right? And that's where we are trying to understand that ethics is necessary for the very survival. Without ethics, हमें ये ideals ही नहीं मिलने वाले. We will be deprived of freedom. We will be deprived of sense of equality. We will be deprived of the sense of justice, fairness, and we will be deprived of well-being. In due course of time, you will understand that what exactly well-being is and how ethics is playing an important role in the notion of well-being. Isn't it? That's where I want to see fullness of life. I want to grow and flourish, and I want to blossom like a flower. And hence I need to have conducive environment in which I could grow. Without ethics, without those do's and don'ts, without knowing right and wrong, such environment cannot be attained, cannot be realized. Hence, ethics is very necessary. Hence, again we are emphasizing that ethics is not just or merely an academic exercise. It is in your benefit only. Whether you are doing job, whether you are doing business, whether you are self-employed, whether you are a student, whoever, wherever you are, ethics is in your benefit. Ethics is beneficial for you. Being ethical, don't think that you are obliging somebody. That is like in your benefit only. You can say that out of selfish interest, out of self-interest, one need to be, one has to be ethical. ये आप ही के फायदे में की बात है. आप उस सेंस में आप समझ सकते हैं, be selfish. And we will see that जितने भी thinkers हैं, philosophers हैं, theories हैं, approach हैं, ये सारे के सारे will zero in like ethics is not only part of our life, ethics is life breath of our life. That is what we are saying, that ethics is necessary. We cannot live in a world of liars. Just imagine if lying is a universal activity. Everybody is lying to everybody. Then who will trust whom and why and how? If I say to you, I love you, then I'll say, no, I don't love you. Yes, I love you. We are completely trapped into that. We can't survive in a society which is of liars. We are self-interested. Yes, there is no doubt about it. We all are self-interested. And we will also understand that there is nothing wrong in being self-interested. It is because of self-interest only. The wheel of our life is running. The wheel of society, economy, polity, environment, and all these domains is running, is in the motion. There is nothing wrong into that. It is not immoral. Being self-interested, Amartya Sen says that that's the triggering point. But when self-interest becomes excessive, and once it becomes selfishness, then the issue arises that your loss is my gain. And there leads to clash of interest. And there we have the clash of interest. And once there is a clash of interest, then this leads to competition. And competition breeds, again, it's a vicious cycle. It breeds like selfishness, aggression, violence. Because competition means that my survival is at your cost. Competition means your loss is my gain. And this kind of competition leads to a kind of tadpole philosophy. And tadpole philosophy is like a few tadpoles who are strong, who are powerful, they gather, they capture food grains more, and they flourish, they grow, they become healthier at the cost of weaker tadpoles. And in the time, those weaker ones get perish, and the stronger ones is to flourish. That was the basic idea of Charles Darwin. And Darwin had said about the survival of the fittest. It is authoritative theory. लेकिन जितना authoritative theory है उतना ही criticism भी है, उतना ही counter view भी है. Darwin was very apt and very straightforward that if you need to survive, then you have to struggle for your existence. Because those who are fit, they will alone survive. And those who do not adapt and those who do not struggle, they have perished. And many creatures, many organisms and many creatures and many vegetations have vanished from this land because they could not adapt, they could not struggle, they could not fight it out. On one hand, we say that yes, Charles Darwin was right to a certain extent. But ethicists and moralists say that even the fittest cannot survive when there is nobody. When there is nobody. Even the fittest would survive in the midst of society. Even the fittest would survive among the fellow beings. And that's where we say that ethics is necessary for the very survival. And as one of the thinkers have said, that humans have survived because of, cooperation, the natural relation amongst us is not that of competition. Had there been competition, we as a human species would have not survived. Hence, they say that the natural relation amongst us is that of cooperation, love. We are united by bonds of humanity. Right? We love, we are affectionate, we are rational, we are moral, and we love to live in community. We are gregarious creatures. And it is because of these natural traits, it is because of these cooperation, affectionate, sense of community, solidarity, we have survived. अगर डार्विन की अगर बात मानी होती और अगर हुआ होता तो we would have not survived. And that's what ethics is. That's what the morality is. So ethicists and moralists are trying to assert their viewpoint that we have survived, we can survive in future also only through ethics. Because without some moral principle, without some absolute principle, without ethics, without that universal standard and principles on set of values, we will be in moral anarchy. We will be in chaos. We will be in a conflict-ridden society. We will be in Matsya Nyaya, where bigger fish eats smaller fishes. Hence, ethics is necessary. Hence, ethics need to be studied, taught, and contemplated. Hence, ethics has grown, and we should consciously make it to develop as a separate discipline, as a dedicated discipline. Ethics should develop as a science. Right? Ethics, why ethics is necessary? Here, in this regard, we can quote Aristotle. Okay? We can quote Aristotle where he says that we should raise some long-term question to us and we should seek answers for that. And long-term question is that asking to oneself is what I should be, what I should be like. मतलब मुझे क्या बनना है, isn't it? And how I would like to be known. In this world, till whenever I am in this world, how I would be like to be known as. And after me, how I would be like known as. What I should be, what I should be like, मुझे क्या बनना है. One should raise these questions from oneself. These are the long-term questions. And once you have clarity, then whatever action you do, you think, is this action leading me towards that direction? If yes, then go ahead. If no, then you need to revisit it, contemplate it, and decide what exactly is to be done. We will see that this is what has developed as virtue ethics. And that's where Aristotle says that we should consciously develop healthy and moral practices. किसी के बोलने से, किसी के कहने से वर्च्यूज, एथिक्स, मॉरलिटी ये डेवलप नहीं हो जाते. We have to practice. We have to do again and again those things until unless we become habitual of that. We will see once we take up all these thinkers, then we will understand कि सच बोलना is very difficult. It's very difficult. लेकिन सच बोलने की प्रैक्टिस तो कर सकते हो. More you practice, more you become tuned to speak truth. It is just as आंसर राइटिंग. अरे जितनी आंसर राइटिंग करोगे, जितनी प्रैक्टिस करोगे, उतना जल्दी दिमाग चलेगा, हाथ चलेगा, उतना फास्ट देयर वुड बी सिंक बिटवीन माइंड एंड हैंड एंड क्वेश्चन. ऑल दीज थ्री विल कम इन सिंक मोर यू प्रैक्टिस. क्यों है सब? कुछ लोग जो है क्वेश्चन देखते हैं, दे थिंक हार्डली 1 minute एंड स्टार्ट राइटिंग. And some people keep on thinking and they end up writing in a very forcefully hardly one paragraph, and that might not be even very appropriate. ये differences क्यों आ रहे हैं? टीचर एक है, सब्जेक्ट एक है, क्वेश्चन एक है, टेक्स्ट बुक एक है, सब कुछ एक ही तो है. फिर ये डिफरेंस क्यों? बिकॉज दैट इज ऑल बिकॉज ऑफ प्रैक्टिस. एक प्रैक्टिस करे जा रहा है, प्रैक्टिस वो भरे भरे जा रहा है, कागज भरे जा रहा है, सेम चीज वो बार बार करे जा रहा है. He has written same answer 10 times. He is solving pre-YQs. कुछ लोग कहते हैं PYQs, हाँ हाँ अच्छा हो जाएगा, ओके ओके ठीक है, हाँ हो गया. एक वो करने में बैठा हुआ, उसमें भी रिपीट हुआ क्वेश्चन, देखा यार अभी तो लिखा था, छोड़ो. थर्ड कैंडिडेट वो ऊपर से लेकर नीचे तक लिखता है, एंड वन क्वेश्चन इफ इट गेट रिपीटेड 5 times, he writes 5 times. Can anybody beat him? He is unbeatable. He is unbeatable. क्योंकि वो क्वेश्चन रिपीट हुआ, उसने आंसर रिपीट कर दिया. वो एक ही क्वेश्चन एक एक्सरसाइज में 5 बार लिख चुका है. एक क्वेश्चन 10 बार रिपीट हुआ, वो 10 बार लिख रहा है. ही इज नॉट अंडर द शेडो ऑफ मोनोटोनस. उसको मोनोटोनस आ ही नहीं रही, क्योंकि उसको टारगेट दिख रहा है कि यार मुझे तो वहां जाना है, ये तो काम करना ही है. दैट इज लाइक यू बिकम हैबिचुअल. It is not like somebody becomes, ethical. Ethics, morality, principles, values, being honest, being truthful, doing always good. They are very lofty principles. And it's very difficult to follow them. If not impossible, but they are very difficult. Pursuing morality as an end in themselves is a very lofty principle, and it's a very difficult. It does not motivate us. It does not motivate especially practical people. Following these principles demand personal sacrifices. I'm not ready to do those personal sacrifices. It is more tempting to be free rider. It is more tempting to be, doing corrupt practices. Isn't it? And hence, it is very difficult to follow moral principles. But at the same time, we are trying to understand that ethics is very necessary. It is beneficial for you, for your own survival. Because even the fittest won't be able to survive in the world of chaos, in the world of moral anarchy. आपने अगर सर्वाइव करना है तो यू हैव टू बी इनटू दैट. If we always get tempted to choose wrong thing, that's what, if we believe in religion, then religion has made that world in that way only. Right and wrong is more tempting. Wrong is more attractive. We need to overcome that temptation. We need to overcome that temptation of choosing wrong. More we overcome, more values get enhanced. More we become ethical and moral and value based. वो टेम्पटिंग है. हमारा सिस्टम ही ऐसा बना है. हमारा ह्यूमन नेचर इज लाइक दैट ओनली. It is then only we are talking that why ethics is necessary. It is necessary for the very survival. Isn't it? We can't live in the world of liars, cheaters, violence. That's impossible. And it is in this background Aristotle says that we need to ask very simple questions regarding ourselves from the long-term perspective. बनना क्या चाहते हो? What is your desire? कि लोग, दुनिया आपको किस रूप में आपको याद रखेगी। दैट इज योर चॉइस। देयर इज नथिंग लाइक कॉल्ड इमॉर्टैलिटी, बट देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड पर्सनल immortality. Like Gandhiji have become immortal, like Nelson Mandela have become immortal, isn't it? Abraham Lincoln had become immortal. These great leaders have become immortal. तो immortality, religious immortality, soul immortality, वो है या नहीं है, we are not confirmed about that. लेकिन ये चीज जरूर तय है ना, choice is yours. आप कैसे आपको जानना चाहते हो। And hence ethics is for them. Ethics is not for those who are decided to be free riders. Ethics is not, absolutely not for them. Okay, so that's where we say that Aristotle talks about the virtue ethics. Practice करो अच्छा काम करने की, सर्विस करने की, एल्ट्रुइज्म करने की, कोऑपरेट होने की, अफेक्शनेट होने की, प्रैक्टिस करते रहोगे, of course in that practice you will choose something opposite of that also. In choosing and practicing love, you will end up doing hatred. That's a part of game. तो virtue develop होगा. Virtue is a habit. अब कोर्ट भी पढ़ते हैं इससे रिलेटेड. That become habitual of doing that. Isn't it? And our religion teaches us that only. Develop, and religion emphasizes on the need for developing a strong moral character. Religion भी develop कर रहा है. Okay. Further, we can say that ethics is necessary, and we cannot live without ethics. Man cannot live without ethics. अभी तक हमने बात करी why ethics and why ethics is necessary. अब हम कह रहे हैं that man, we cannot live without ethics. Why? Because ethics originates from the human nature itself. Ethics owes its origin of ethics from the human nature itself. Dual nature of human. It's a dual nature or contradictory nature of human being. And यहाँ से ethics evolves, ethics originates. ये dual nature क्या है? See, we people are autonomous. We are self-interested. We are autonomous. We love to be in solitary. We love to be in lonely. I am happy when I am alone. I am happy in solitude or in solitary position. The basic nature of human being is self-interested. I am autonomous and I love to be into solitary. But at the same time, I am also dependent. There is a dependency. I am dependent on society, environment, business, fellow beings, education, management, in number of things. I'm dependent on that. And at the same time, I dread loneliness. Absolute loneliness is dreadful. Solitary में रहना अच्छा लगता है. I love to live in, as a alone, in solitary. But absolute loneliness, absolute solitary is dreadful. That's very scary. कि कोई है ही नहीं और मैं अकेला ही रह रहा हूँ यार, वो भी पॉसिबल नहीं. I don't want that. At the same time, though I'm dependent, but I avoid absolute communism also. Dependent who? But I want to avoid absolute communism. Just like I don't like to live like a colony of honeybees or colony of ants. मैं वैसे भी नहीं रहना चाहता हूँ. That's a dual nature of man. That's a contradictory nature of man. So, how it is related to ethics? It is like, see, यहाँ से निकलती है moral responsibility. Okay? And from this moral responsibility, from this self-interested and autonomous and solitary nature of human being emerges personal and private ethics. Right? And from the another contradictory nature of human being, where I'm dependent on whom? I'm dependent on society, on my fellow beings. और यहां से निकलती है social ethics, or you can say public ethics. Isn't it? I'm dependent on environment, and hence what emerges? Environmental ethics. I am dependent on state or government, and यहाँ से निकलती है public service ethics or government ethics or state ethics. Okay, I am dependent on business, source of livelihood, commerce, and यहाँ से निकलता है business ethics. I am dependent on education, and hence from it emerges education ethics. Similarly, you can talk about management. Then what emerges? Management ethics. अब जो मर्जी बोलो. That's how the branches of ethics. So, ethics as a discipline have emerged from us only. It is because of that only. Such values which we talked about, cooperation, love, solidarity, sense of community, affectionate, community, ये naturally हम में आ रहा है ना भाई. ये कहाँ से आ रहा है? Because we are born with that. The structure of human being is like that only. Wherever, whichever, whatever profession you do, whether you are ethical or whether you are unethical, you have to be into this domain. ये तो होना ही है. Even a hardcore criminal would have this. Yes, ठीक है भाई, उनका conscience and morality और जो भी चीजें हैं, if that is like does not match with the universal and absolute principles. It does not match with their own conscience. लेकिन है तो सही, वो self interested है और dependent भी तो है. Can he be in absolute loneliness? That's impossible. So ethics is that which balances these dual nature of human being. And यहाँ से from here we see the emergence of what? Personal and private ethics, and we have these. We are dependent on the global world also. Internationally and globally also we are dependent. We want to be sovereign, yes. Yet we are dependent. And hence we are dependent on the global और वर्ल्ड, ग्लोबल सोसाइटी एंड वर्ल्ड, और यहां से निकलेगा इंटरनेशनल एथिक्स. That's where we have international ethics. So see, that's the origin of ethics. At the same time, we are also understanding that why ethics is necessary. Look, we are creating a background, a base for your subject. And hence I straight away started. So let me tell you what is going to happen. Ethics is the only one paper which is different, absolutely different from all other papers. It is different from GS 123. It is different from optional. In optional, we usually say you don't have to become philosopher, sociologist, political scientist, historian, geographer, anthropologist. But it is this discipline, ethics, where we need to become ethicist. We need to develop a perspective of ethicist. We need to be ethical. We need to be ethicist in our thoughts, in our words, in our action. Then only we will be able to catch the essence of the subject. And hence, in ethics, approach, orientation becomes very important. In our philosophy classes, I have already told you that if you have done very good homework, if you are a very good student, तो 90, 100 आएगा. But if you want to go into the 125, 130 plus, which people have secured, many people have secured 130 plus, not one or twice, then you need to catch the essence and the pulse of the subject. You need to understand what exactly the orientation and approach of this paper is. Just doing syllabus won't help you. Just doing syllabus topic wise topic, that's very mechanized preparation. That's a very mechanical. Organic preparation नहीं है. और जब तक कि ऑर्गेनिक प्रिपरेशन नहीं होगी तब तक वो आंसर एफर्टलेसली नहीं निकलेंगे अंदर से. Mechanized preparation, your agenda is to write as many examples as possible. That's the trend. That's the trend in the among aspirants. Your examples खूब लिखने. एक लाइन में एक एग्जाम्पल, एक वर्ड लिखा फॉर एग्जाम्पल, एक वर्ड लिखा फॉर एग्जाम्पल. इट बिकम सो मैकेनाइज्ड. आप पेपर देखेंगे आपको खुद को लगेगा कि भाई बात तो क्या है अपनी. एग्जाम्पल्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, देयर इज नो डाउट अबाउट इट, बट आंसर शुड नॉट बी फ्लडेड विथ एग्जाम्पल्स. वन और टू एग्जाम्पल विल सर्व योर पर्पस. थ्योरी तो लिखो, समझाओ तो सही, मुद्दा क्या है, इशू क्या है, चैलेंजेस क्या है, करना क्या है. एग्जाम्पल के थ्रू थोड़ी आप बता सकते हो. ओके, सो एथिक्स पेपर में सबसे जरूरी है आपका ओरिएंटेशन और अप्रोच. और वो ओरिएंटेशन अप्रोच आने के बाद में यू विल सी दैट एफर्टलेस आंसर्स निकले. दिस ईयर पेपर वाज वन ऑफ द टफेस्ट, आई टेल यू. But again, at the same time, I tell you, if I have got the essence and the pulse, feel उस subject का अगर आ गया, that paper is doable. अब बिना पढ़े जाएंगे और effortlessly आंसर निकलेगा. क्यों? क्योंकि हमने ethics को कोर में समझना है. What exactly ethics is, and what is the base, foundation, core part क्या है. And this is what I just given you glimpses of that core. And it is, you can also say that ethics paper is absolutely different from other papers. Why? Because here we don't have well set, well structured, standard, universal answers as we happen in GS and optional paper. यहाँ पर वो है नहीं. Variations बहुत ज़्यादा हैं. Because here in ethics paper, you are not supposed to write answer. You are supposed to take a stand. And once you have taken a stand, then you have to justify that. Then you have to give justification, logical arguments, and then you give example to substantiate your viewpoint. तब कहीं जाके वो एक आंसर बनेगा. And hence, what we are going to do, what we will be doing, we will be first analyzing in order to catch the essence. हमारा पूरा एजेंडा सिर्फ इसी का रहेगा कि एसेंस कैच करना है हमने. And initial few classes you will understand कि 7-8 क्लास हो गई and you will understand कि सर सिलेबस का तो कोई लेने देना ही नहीं हो रहा, सिलेबस तो कुछ आ ही नहीं रहा. But I will tell, just hold on, just have patience. वो एक सॉलिड बैकग्राउंड बनता जा रहा है. एंड दिस योर एथिक्स सिलेबस इज अ मैटर ऑफ फ्यू क्लासेस एंड यू विल सी कि वो एक एक करके धड़ 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 आके सारे हो जाएंगे. So just need to have patience. Gradually I will create building blocks. सिलेबस देखेंगे टेंशन हो जाएगी. बीच बीच में आपको रिमाइंड कराता रहूंगा कि भाई सिलेबस को मत देखो. ये सिलेबस तो इट्स नथिंग, इट विल बी डन इन फ्यू क्लासेस. So what we will do, we will analyze the syllabus first. Okay, and I tell you, we will reorder syllabus because this syllabus cannot be done the way in which it has been given by UPSC. If you do in that sequence, then that is highly mechanized approach. You won't be able to navigate. Question को थोड़ा सा घुमाएगा, आप घूम जाओगे. And you will try to reproduce what you have mugged up. Again, that won't fetch you marks. Again, if you are a good student, you will have 90 plus something. लेकिन this is ethics is the lowest hanging fruit, right? यहाँ पर आपको मजे मजे में 120, 125, 115 नंबर मजे मजे में आने वाले हैं. थोड़े से एफर्ट्स डालोगे, conscious efforts डालोगे in right direction, you will have 130 plus, and it could be a launching pad for your success. Just as we discussed, ethics makes you and breaks you. That formula applies in civil service exam also. It makes you and breaks you. किसी के just imagine किसी के 90 आए और किसी के 130 आए. See, उस गैप को कभी पूरा कर पाओगे? हो ही नहीं सकता. This is the one subject that will push you toward the interview. इसके बाद एक सेगमेंट और चाहिए आपको फाइनल पुश के लिए, क्योंकि कोई भी एक चीज आपको उस लेवल तक पहुंचाएगा. इट इज लाइक यू हैव फिलोसफी ऑप्शनल ने वहां तक पहुंचाती है. एक और चीज चाहिए, और एक का पुश लगते ही यू आर श्योरली इनटू द फाइनल लिस्ट. रैंक डिपेंड करेगा कि बाकी जगह क्या परफॉर्मेंस है. वो तो सिंपल सी बात है ना. एक ने पहुंचाया, एक ने पुश किया, और एक और ने अगर पुश कर दिया तो भाई देन यू आर इन टॉप 50 और टॉप 100. वो तो दैट डिपेंड्स. सो व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से दैट वी विल एनालाइज सिलेबस, और उस एनालिसिस ऑफ सिलेबस तक पहुंचने के लिए अगेन आई हैव टू क्रिएट ए बैकग्राउंड, एंड दिस इज द फर्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ माय बैकग्राउंड. We will analyze it, we will reorder it. And once we have reordered it, you will have a kind of understanding, okay, this is what is to be done. I'll add a few more topics into the syllabus, which is not mentioned in the syllabus. And questions have repeatedly come on that. And if I write those topics, and when I reorder, then it is like something like a kind of enlightenment. Then we get a clear roadmap. अच्छा, इस डायरेक्शन में चलना है, अब वेगनेस खत्म. So for that, I would advise you that for the time being, आपने जो कुछ भी पढ़ रखा है, if you have done classes, if you have read it, if you have books or whatever, for the time being, you just keep aside it. उसको उठा के साइड में कर दो, and let us move with fresh Let us move as a blank slate, as a tabula rasa. Let us move without any past baggage. वो अच्छा है, बुरा है, एवरेज है, phenomenal है, great है. I'm not commenting on that. वो अच्छा है या बुरा है, अभी उसके बात नहीं करनी है. You just start afresh and see the things from the fresh perspective. Definitely you are going to have a new orientation and new perspective. And definitely you will be able to imbibe real essence of ethics. रटने की, पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. That I can assure you. And hence, once we start without any past baggage, then I'll create gradually building blocks. एक करके building blocks होता चला जाएगा, and a time will come when we will be seeing this entire syllabus. And you will understand and you will appreciate कि हाँ सर अब ये fit बैठ गया पूरे system में. Okay, so with that approach and with that orientation, we would be starting. And in the worst of the worst scenario, I mean, Embark paper was one of the toughest. Just after a few classes, you see that paper, you will be able to navigate through that. In the worst of the worst scenario, you will be able to have that feel. बेहतर लिखो, जो भी लिखोगे, that will make sense. And that would be class apart. Okay. So fine, with this background, now let us take another step. Till now we have understood why ethics. We have yet not discussed what is ethics. What is ethics का समय आएगा तब पढ़ेंगे. But ethics and morality ऐसा तो कुछ है नहीं कि this is unknown thing. A broad understanding, a broad view, we already have. Okay. Now see. Our life is governed by two set of factors. Two factors here, they are prominent. And these two factors are, one is circumstances. Here when I say circumstances, here I mean to say that they are fixed. This is what we got in this world. A particular historical, social, economic, political setup. Family, gender, religion, etc., etc. I mean, this is what I found in this world. इसमें तो कोई change कर ही नहीं सकता. When I took birth, I found this setup, which already existed, which pre-existed, that existed before me. I mean, this is what I got. One of the philosophers says that it is like as if we have been thrown in this world. We have been thrown on a trajectory over which we don't have control. We don't have freedom. We find ourselves into this. So that is like circumstances. When I'm saying it is like about a fixed setting which existed or which predated me or which pre-existed my birth. ये भी influence करता है, isn't it? How it influences? Just imagine. We are one is born in India, one is born in Africa, one is born in US, one is born in North Korea. Will it not affect? Definitely it will affect. When some citizen of North Korea, उसके पास क्या choice है? वो तो बाहर भी नहीं जाने देते, न बाहर से किसी को अंदर आने देते. So that will affect my choices, my freedom. सारी चीजें तो affect हो रही हैं, तो वो भी affect करती हैं. Apart from that, our life is governed by the choice which we make. And the moment we make choice, here begins the domain of ethics. Here begins the realm of ethics. Moment we make a choice, here begins the ethical examination, critical examination, whether that choice was right or wrong, good or bad, ethical or unethical. आपके चॉइस करने की जरूरत है बस. Moment you made a choice, and making a choice means you have exercised your freedom. Freedom है तभी choice exercise कर रहे हो. So our life is governed, or our life is governed by choices, and ethics is all about choice. Moment we make a choice, we enter into the world of ethics, because now my choice, my decision is going to be examined, whether that is right or wrong, ethical or unethical. But to make a choice, do I need to have some specialized training, some specialized course, some specialized orientation? No, it is not like that. Anybody at any point of time can make choice. It does not require any specialized training or course. Just imagine in a remote village, a poor and uneducated and illiterate person, doesn't he make a choice? Yes, he makes a choice. And because of his choice, he is a very known figure into that area. Not only in his village, but into that entire cluster of villages, he has name, fame, and reputation, because he made great choices. It is just as that some nearby some problem is there, some dispute is there, and they say कि नहीं यार ये हमसे solve नहीं होगा, हम तो उसके पास चलते हैं, वो फैसला करेगा. And they all come to that because people have faith in his choice, in his sense of making decision. But he has not seen any face of formal education or a school, but yet he can make choice. Just imagine, remember our great-grandfather, we all have come from villages, our roots lies in villages, isn't it? It just happened to visit to my native place. After a long time, or like it is first time I heard that we have some native place also. My father told, kya re, kabhi to native place mein jaya karo yaar. And it is like once we decided, okay, fine, yaar, let us go to native place. And for the first time, I'm entering into my village. Nobody is recognizing me, and everybody sees me with the suspicious eyes. Ki yaar, ye kaun hai, kya hai, kyun aaya hai? I talk to somebody, and somebody asks, कि भाई कौन? Then I say, yeah, I am a great grandchild of that so and so. And immediately they hear and they say, अच्छा उनके यार, अच्छा उनके पोते पड़पोते हो क्या यार? अरे यार अच्छा यार, बड़ा मजा आ गया यार, वो है ये है. And they're all together, their orientation and their behavior completely changes. See, that person is still enjoyed name. Why? Because in his lifetime, he must have made great choices, great decisions. And those choices and decisions were something like ethical. And that legacy continues. And you are recognized based on his choice. That's the beauty of choice. It is just like, why to be ethical? It is like a kind of answer of that also. It is just like a teacher enters into the class and teacher asks his student that can anybody name grandfather of your grandfather? Does anybody remember grandfather's grandfather? When he asks in that classroom, there is a pin drop silence. Nobody knew. Then the teacher asked, have you heard Gandhiji? Everybody shouts, yes. Did you hear Swami Vivekananda? Yes. Did you hear Bhagat Singh? Yes, the whole crowd, the whole class shouts to the top of their voice. Teacher says, see the paradox. ये सारे आपके relative हैं क्या? Are you connected with their family? No way. We are not connected with their family. Yet, we understand, we know their biography and entire facts and figures. But we don't remember our grandfather's grandfather or grandfather's father sometimes. Isn't it? That's how the domain of ethics begins. How? Because you have to earn your name. And you have to believe in the joy of giving. They believed in joy of giving. They were ready to undergo great sacrifices, personal sacrifices. For them, ethics and morality were not lofty principles. For them, these are part and parcel of their life. Getting? So life is all about choices. And hence we can say ethics is all about choices. And for making choice, we don't need to have some specialization. But yes, one thing is certain, that if we have gone through ethics, if we have read theories, philosophies, approaches, case studies, examples, then our choice would become more informed, more intelligent, more logical, more rational, and we will be able to justify our choice and our decision. And there comes the importance of, again, ethics as a science. वो तो चॉइस तो आप अभी भी कर सकते हो. आपको केस स्टडीज आते हैं, एग्जामिनेशन में देखो कैसे सॉल्व करो, उसको आंसर की तरह डील कर. Forget about answer and you see, अगर वो केस स्टडी अभी दी जाए and you put yourself into that and then चॉइस ही तो करनी है यार, गलत होगा सही होगा वही ना होगा. तो चॉइस तो कर ही सकते हैं, आपको सिचुएशन तो समझ में आ रही है, यू नो यू आर टेकन डिसीजन इन द बेस्ट ऑफ बेस्ट इन वे. उसमें क्या पढ़ना है? But if we go through these ethics as a discipline, if we undergo all these philosophies and theories, then our navigation becomes more intelligent. We are able to take an informed decision, a conscious and logical decision, which we can justify. तो ethics आपको वो polish कर रही है, वो refine कर रही है. अदरवाइज एथिकल डिसीजन तो वो फार्मर भी ले रहा है, उस जमाने में भी होता था, आज भी हो रहा है, और ये पढ़ने के बाद, ट्रेनिंग करने के बाद भी लेते हैं. सो ट्रेनिंग पॉलिशेज यू. Okay, and it is because of this we have discussed that ethics needs to be studied, taught and contemplated. Ethics is not all about that somebody gives you a set answer. केस स्टडी का कोई आंसर होता ही नहीं है. नेवर गो फॉर मॉडल आंसर, आई टेल यू, दैट इज सुसाइडल. मॉडल आंसर कैसे लिखोगे? हर साल नई केस स्टडी आ रही है. लर्न टू जस्टिफाई. कोई सही गलत नहीं है केस स्टडी में. फॉरगेट अबाउट दैट. You have to take a decision and you make a choice and you need to justify that. अब justify करो. और आपने justify किया कि that even fittest cannot survive when there is nobody. तो क्या survival of the fittest लगा रखा है? And you have given a solid justification depending upon the situation. तो आप जो बात कर रहे हैं उसको जस्टिफाई करते हुए चलना है, वो हमने सीखना है. और उसको सीखने के लिए, एज एरिस्टोटल हैव सेड, हमें प्रैक्टिस करनी है. और प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए फिर ब्रेन स्टॉर्मिंग करें, केस स्टडी लाएं, 10 बात आप बोलो, 10 बात हम बोलते हैं, एक म्यूचुअल चीजें होंगी, एंड देन ब्रॉडली कंसेंसस बनता चला जा रहा है. वेराइटी ऑफ केस स्टडीज, दैट इज द परफेक्ट वे ऑफ डीलिंग केस स्टडीज. rather than going one way. अगर आप मेरी सुन रहे हैं केस स्टडी में, दैट्स ओनली वन व्यू, नो, लेकिन एग्जामिनर तो अपने पर्सपेक्टिव से देखेगा। तो हम क्यों ना n नंबर ऑफ व्यूज बना ले थ्रू ब्रेन स्टॉर्मिंग, एंड देन योर माइंड विल गेट ओपनड अप, एंड देन यू विल बी एबल टू टेक ए डिसीजन एंड यू विल बी एबल टू जस्टिफाई दैट डिसीजन। हमें जस्टिफिकेशन चाहिए एथिक्स में। थ्योरी में भी जस्टिफिकेशन चाहिए और केस स्टडी में भी जस्टिफिकेशन चाहिए। इट डजंट मैटर हाउ मच यू राइट, इट मैटर्स व्हाट क्वालिटी यू राइट, हाउ डायरेक्टली यू हैव हिट द कोर ऑफ द क्वेश्चन, कितना जल्दी, कितना सटीक आप यू आर हिटिंग एट द हेड ऑफ द नेल। दैट डिपेंड्स कि वो क्वेश्चन कितना जल्दी आपको समझ में आया, कितना जल्दी उतर गया। उतरने की बात है, उसके बाद तो आंसर निकलेगा। Okay, hence we are saying that life is governed by circumstances. Of course, we are not much concerned about this, क्योंकि इसके बारे में हम कुछ कर नहीं सकते. That is not the subject matter of ethics. Ethics is all about choice. Okay? And these choices are broadly governed by two set of factors. अब चॉइस कैसे कैसे इन्फ्लुएंस करेंगे? तो दीज चॉइसेस कुड बी लाइक एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स, isn't it? Somebody has given theory and you are trying to apply that theory. It is something which is imposed from above. गांधी जी ने ये कहा था इसलिए कर रहा हूं, कैंट ने कहा इसलिए कर रहा हूं. Okay, so these are the external factors. दूसरा, internal factors, that something is coming from within myself. It is something like my conscience says, and once I make choice, whichever, external or internal or whatever, then comes the role of justification, and that is like your so-called answer. रिमेंबर, थ्योरी में और केस स्टडीज में आपको सिर्फ जस्टिफाई करना है, बिकॉज इन बोथ द टाइप्स ऑफ क्वेश्चन यू हैव मेड ए चॉइस, यू हैव टेकन ए स्टैंड. As for example, your quote had come that there is enough for everybody's need but not for greed. You understood and you took a stand कि बात सही है, आप जस्टिफाई करो. इस ऐसा सारे क्वेश्चन में आना है. They have asked, what do you mean by happiness? हैप्पीनेस का कोई जवाब नहीं लिखा हुआ कहीं पे. एंड यू से, अरे यार पढ़ना भूल गया, रिवाइज करना भूल गया, रटा नहीं यार. दैट इज मैकेनिकल, वो नहीं है. What is happiness? You have to write. And whatever the notion of happiness is, you have to justify. आप गलत एंड सही होंगे आपके जस्टिफिकेशन से. ये नहीं कि किसी ने कहा कुछ ही वेयर्ड हैप्पीनेस बोल दी कि साहब मुझे तो मेरी हैप्पीनेस तो ये है. उससे गलत सही नहीं है. गलत सही है कि उसके बाद व्हाट यू आर राइटिंग, इफ यू आर एबल टू जस्टिफाई दैट, देन योर आंसर इज राइट. इसीलिए एथिक्स के आंसर किसी के भी मिलते नहीं हैं, मिलने भी नहीं चाहिए, बिकॉज एवरीबडी इज गवर्न्ड बाय डिफरेंट सेट ऑफ फैक्टर्स. Okay. Anyway, so now let us see. ये choice broadly, these are the two factors, external and internal factors. But specifically, what these choices are and what these different factors which will govern my choice. It could be like divine command. Divine command means my choice is governed by religion. religious scriptures. And hence, from here, what arises? Religious morality. My morality is derived from religion. It is something like मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम राम, मैं तो राम को देख के काम करूंगा. It is something like Jesus, मैं तो जीसस को देखूंगा, he is my role model, मैं वो काम करूंगा. Jainas are talking about पंच महाव्रत, भाई ये 5 principles हैं, हम तो इनको देख के काम करेंगे. बुद्धा टॉक्ड अबाउट अष्टांगिक मार्ग, ये है, हम तो ये, हमारी मॉरलिटी तो यहां से आ रही है. दिस इज वन वे. ओके. सेकेंड, इट कुड बी कंसाइंस, और कंसाइंस यू कैन से इट इज इनर वॉइस. It is like antaratma, inner voice. It is conscience. Okay, so I decide by hearing inner voice. अभी inner voice क्या है, conscience क्या है? It is claimed that conscience तो किसी का कुछ भी बोलेगा. Gandhi ji believed in conscience. He always heard the inner voice, and this is one of the factors for him to launch the non-cooperation movement, civil disobedient movement, Quit India movement, because his conscience says कि नहीं यार ये गलत हो रहा है, we have to protest, we have to raise voice against it. When his conscience said कि no यार, this is now movement is going wrong, it is going in wrong direction, it is not appealing to my conscience, and he says withdraw. So Gandhian philosophy was governed by a conscience, inner voice. लेकिन कंसाइंस किसी का कुछ बोल ही नहीं रहा और वो तो गलत किए जा रहे हैं. तो गांधी जी से कहा, यार गांधी जी ये क्या बात है, किसी का कंसाइंस कुछ बोल ही नहीं रहा. वो कह रहा मेरी इनर वॉइस है, मारो जी, डू समथिंग दिस एंड दैट. तो गांधी जी सेज नो, इट इज नॉट लाइक दैट. ही हैज आल्सो इनर वॉइस, लेकिन उसने डोमिनेट कर रखा है अपने इनर वॉइस को. वो इनर वॉइस को सुनना ही नहीं चाह रहा, सुनना ही नहीं दे रहा उसको. Otherwise, inner voice abhi mein hai. You will see that as and when it comes. Then related to this, we have dharma. Now, dharma is more related to a sense of duty. Now, dharma and conscience both are very close. लेकिन धर्म में a sense of duty है, and it has or it involves a sense of reasoning. And when it comes to sense of duty, then you can talk about Bhagavad Gita. Duty perform karna hai, but use your reason. Lord Krishna says to Arjun, look, this is what your Swadharma is. और वो सारा लेक्चर देने के बाद then Lord Krishna says to Arjun कि भाई देख अब तेरे को सोचना है क्या करना है. It is you have to apply your wisdom, your reason. मेरे को जो बोलना था मैं बोल चुका हूं. So dharma or duty requires reasoning. Kant also has, Kant's philosophy or morality is based on sense of duty, duty-based approach. And his duty-based approach is based on reason. He calls his duty or his swadharma as categorical imperative, जिसमें reason का a significant role है. We will see those moral principles and we will see their application also. Then we have natural law. We have natural law. Many ethics are derived from natural law. What do you mean by natural law? According to natural law, anything which is made or that which exists in this world is meant for certain purpose. And if that thing is fulfilling its purpose, then it is according to natural law. And according to natural law theories, that is ethical. आई रिपीट, इस संसार में जितनी कितनी भी चीजें हैं उन्हें हर एक चीज का एक पर्पस है। अगर वो चीज अपने पर्पस को सर्व कर रहा है, रियलाइज कर रहा है, कोई भी एक्शन उस पर्पस को रियलाइज कर रहा है, तो दैट इज एथिकल इन टर्म्स ऑफ अकॉर्डिंग टू नेचुरल लॉ थ्योरीज। इज दैट फाइन? ओके, hence these theorists says that a sexual intercourse is meant for a life, a new life. That is a natural law. Anywhere in this entire cosmology, if there is a sexual intercourse, then this sexual intercourse is meant for what? Life. If that is obstructed, then that goes against natural law, and according to them that is unethical. Hence, in some religion and in some culture, contraceptives are not allowed because it goes against natural law. And it is because of this these philosophers would criticize, would deny same-sex marriage. Isn't it? And you must have read in the newspaper that according to critics, same-sex marriages is unnatural. Surely you have come across with this word, unnatural. But we did not pause and we did not take notice. Here, unnatural matlab. We took unnatural as if it is going against the majority view. जो मेजोरिटी काम कर रहे हैं वो नेचुरल है और जो एक्सेप्शन कर रहे हैं उनको हमने क्या बोल दिया? Unnatural. But that's a wrong interpretation. That's where examiner or the thing or discipline catches you. That's where we need to understand the essence, the pulse of this subject. वही तो समझने की जरूरत है. बड़ी माइन्यूट सी है, ऐसे माइन्यूट चीजें कई जगह मिलेंगी आपको. So same-sex marriages are considered as unnatural because same-sex marriages cannot lead to new life. Hence they deny, hence they reject, and hence they call it unethical. They just can't stand on that. And hence a debate starts between natural law theorists and opponent. And debate फिर शुरू होगी. Debate कैसे शुरू होगी? That what if a so-called normal couple is there, husband wife is there, but because of medical reasons they cannot conceive. Does it mean that their sexual activity and intercourse is also unnatural? The natural law or theories and somebody will say that these couple can adopt. They adopt child. But if they can adopt a child in the same way, the same-sex marriage people can also adopt child. क्योंकि वहां पर भी तो अलाउड है, तो अडॉप्ट आप भी कर लो. Where is the problem then? That's a debate. But we are discussing only one view. ये एक व्यू है और समय के हिसाब से कोई भी व्यू इवॉल्व होता है, ग्रो करता है, मैच्योर होता है. There was once upon a time where somebody heard about the same-sex marriages or same-sex like gays and all these, then there was society was like searching them, and that was like, they had it, they were punished and they were eliminated, they were killed immediately because they were considered as threat to the society. It is unnatural. लेकिन आज हम उस एरा में रह रहे हैं where we have sex marriages as legalized. We live into that era. Getting? तो बहुत सारे डिबेट हैं. आपने अडॉप्ट कर लिया, सो कॉल्ड नॉर्मल मैरिज में आपने अडॉप्ट कर लिया, तो भाई वो क्यों नहीं अडॉप्ट कर सकता? Then it is said that if the same-sex marriages adopt a child, then child will grow in unhealthy and an unnatural way. Getting? But what about that child who has only one parent? Or what about that child Natural child, not adopted child, that's their natural child, but husband, wife, all the round the clock, they are fighting. And they are on the verge of separation. Will that child grow in a healthy environment? But here, in same-sex marriages, these couple might not be fighting. And child might be growing in a very peaceful, in a healthy, and a very positive environment. अभी debate चलता रहेगा. But the point is that we have understood today that why same-sex marriages is considered as unnatural, and that view is advocated by natural law. Natural law says that pen is meant for writing, but if it is used as a weapon, it goes against natural law, and that is unethical. Isn't it? Aristotle says that a knife is meant for cutting, and if it is doing that, it is fulfilled, its purpose is fulfilled. So many philosophers will say that. Okay, then what else? Or क्या choice हमें what other factors affect our choice? There are n number of factors like justice. We will see as we proceed. Then justice we have written at the 5th place. We will see that gradually and steadily justice will come at the 1st place. And we will understand that if anybody is ethical, if he has to be ethical, then his all choice should be, have to be governed by justice. We will correlate that. कल जब reordering होगी syllabus की, so you will have, I tell you, a kind of, revelation, a kind of enlightenment. कि okay, this is what the syllabus is. You will be, feel at home with the syllabus. And there you will understand कि justice ही तो है सब कुछ. Along with the justice, then you can talk about rights. अब जो भी हमने बात करी, social, economic, political development, religious development, personal development, all that, see that development, the base of our human life from the perspective of justice and rights. कोई भी developmental project चल रहा है, उसमें rights का involvement है, उसमें justice का involvement है, isn't it? Environment का involvement है. Rights are not only for us, rights are for animals, rights for nature. एक हाईवे बन रहा है, एक मल्टी रिवर वैली प्रोजेक्ट बन रहा है, एक डैम बन रहा है. ये जितनी भी डेवलपमेंटल एक्टिविटीज हैं, व्हाई देयर इज ऑलवेज ह्यू एंड क्राई, व्हाई देयर इज ए सो मच ऑफ कंसर्न, क्योंकि उसमें बड़े सेंसिटिव इश्यूज इन्वॉल्व हैं. एंड यू पिक अप एनी प्रोजेक्ट एंड सी दैट प्रोजेक्ट फ्रॉम दीज पर्सपेक्टिव, you will have altogether a different orientation and different understanding about this system what we are discussing. Okay, then we have like utilitarianism. हम अभी सिर्फ बात कर रहे हैं what are the factors that govern our choice. Utilitarianism मतलब we are concerned with the outcome. We will see that this is a philosophy which talks about greatest happiness of the greatest number. We will also see why greatest happiness of the greatest number. Why greatest number? Why not all? Isn't it? Greatest happiness of the greatest number. मतलब कुछ लोग तो दुखी रहेंगे, दुखी होंगे. So there is another view who will counter that. Why you can't have greatest happiness of all, welfare of all, well-being of all. That's my consciences. ये कोई watertight compartment नहीं होगा. ये it's not like conscience लगेगा साहब यहाँ तो right से लगेगा, यहाँ तो ये लगेगा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. It's a whole perspective, it is we who have to see. So utilitarianism, then you can have like feminist care ethics, not only women rights, women issues, but also a philosophy of care, empathy, compassion, nurturing. All those things has to be included. Okay, then virtue ethics, we will see from the perspective of Aristotle. But Aristotle would be appreciated only once we have seen Plato and Socrates, क्योंकि वो वहीं से आ रहा है. We will see that how Aristotle would explain beautifully what exactly happiness is. And his view is really enlightening. Then we will also see Gandhian approach, Gandhian philosophy. And when it comes to Gandhian philosophy, then we will see that he will focus not only on means, not only on end, but he will also equally focus on motive, intention. And he will make a happy combination which conjoins inner voice. And he will be displaying his leadership as an ethical leadership. And his famous statement is that my life is my message. My life is my message. That's how a leader is. That's how an ethical leader is. To set himself as an example. And he says, he asserts that my life is my message. So see, these are the different approaches or factors that will govern our choice. And that's the entire realm of ethics. Moment we make a choice, we enter into the world of ethics. जिस वक्त तक आपने कोई डिसीजन लिया ही नहीं, क्रिटिकल एग्जामिनेशन होगा ही नहीं. और जैसे ही आपने डिसीजन लिया, क्रिटिकल एग्जामिनेशन शुरू हुआ और वही एथिक्स कहलाता है. Now see, there are n number of approaches and n number of factors and more factors could be added on. इसके कोई लिमिट नहीं है, इसका कोई सेट थ्योरीज नहीं है. But broadly, these are the different factors. Now, which approach will be applied when? That entirely depends on your wisdom. It is you who have to decide that which approach and which theory or which factor is to be applied when, where, and how. Studying these approaches, studying these theories, studying ethics, studying these classes will only nurture, it will nurture your ethical sensitivity. It will make your grow or nurture, and it will make you strong, your moral compass strong. ये सारे एथिक्स एंड थ्योरीज एंड केस स्टडीज ये करने के बाद एक नेट रिजल्ट मिलेगा कि दैट विल बी नर्चरिंग एंड ग्रोइंग योर एथिकल सेंसिटिविटी एंड मॉरल कंपास. And it is you who have to take a decision there. No matter how great coach we have, ultimately it is the batsmen who have to stand on the pitch. Which ball is to be defended, which ball is to be left, and which ball is to be hit, that depends entirely on the wisdom of that batsman, no matter how great coach you had. So these my classes and these theories and your syllabus is only nurturing your ethical sensitivity and moral compass, and it will nurture your ethical intelligence. It will make you ethically intelligent also. And ethical intelligence, when combined with emotional intelligence, then you will be obviously in a better position to take a conscious and logical and intelligent decision. But whatever be the decision and approach you choose out of many, the most accepted view would be that one should adopt a holistic perspective. A holistic perspective will always help you. ओके किसी एक थ्योरी को पकड़ के बैठना, दैट वुड बी डेंजरस. कहीं पे देर इज ए कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ दीज अप्रोचेस, कहीं पे सारों को करना है. सो यू हैव टू सी, द पॉइंट इज दैट यू हैव टू सी द थिंग्स फ्रॉम होलिस्टिक पर्सपेक्टिव. किसी एक चीज को लेके बैठना नहीं है कि यार राइट्स का ही ध्यान रखना है, राइट से राइट्स का ध्यान रख रहे हो और किसी दूसरे चक्कर में इनजस्टिस हो गई. So you have to have holistic perspective, you need to be develop, or you need to develop a holistic competence. A holistic competence. And in this developing of holistic competence, we will study various types of competency. Tomorrow we will have certain glimpses. And this, in the development of this holistic competency, we need to utilize psycho, philosophical doctrines and approaches. Is that fine? That's where we begin the ethics as a discipline. I have created some background, and on that background, we will develop our second segment and we will try to derive what is ethics. Mechanical काम नहीं होगा. We will see that how ethics definition get evolved and what are the nitty-gritties into that ethics definition. What are the fundamental issues in ethics? And with that background, we will move to our syllabus and we will see that those fundamental issues, how they change the entire structuring of the syllabus. And from then, we will see some other dimension. Is that fine? Okay, so let us wind up for the day. We'll continue tomorrow, same time. Okay, anything you want to ask? Dharma is a code of conduct. Divine तो religion हो गया ना. धर्म तो secular code of conduct हो गया, और वो religion होंगे. आपके religion ने जैसे पंच महाव्रत कहा, अष्टांगिक मार्ग कहा, तो ठीक है, religion का part है. कुछ secular लेंगे, कुछ religion लेंगे. Okay, that is not the issue. Okay, fine. Thank you. See you tomorrow, same time. Thank you.